Right, so here we are in the T1, the American Tier 5 Heavy. This is probably the best Tier 5 Heavy, mainly because it's relatively mobile. I think it's got a significantly better power to weight ratio than some of the others. Certainly the KV1 feels much slower than this does, and the Churchills obviously are very slow as well. And even the BDR really seems quite pedestrian compared to this. Now, I'm not running a turbo on this, so it's a fairly standard sort of configuration. I've got a gun rammer, I have got increased hardening, which gives me that bit of extra HP, and I've also got, I think, vents on this thing. Now, so my view range isn't absolutely optimised, but it's not too bad. Now this has a 76mm gun. I am firing quite a bit of special rounds in this, premium rounds. I suppose one of its big issues with the American 76s, they are good guns, but they're just not super accurate at range. So I've really just got to let the gun settle before I fire it. When you're ducking and weaving, like we are here, it is a little bit hard. That was probably just not well aimed. So a standard pin on this is about, with the standard shell, is 127. With this round, it's, I think, about 177, which is also better than the KV1, which is pretty good. Now, I do make a little bit of a mistake here, staying up to shoot this guy as a VDR to get one back, but can absorb a little bit of damage now. He's going to really struggle with our turret. Though of course he's firing APCR as well. But I don't feel guilty firing gold rounds or premium rounds anymore, because everybody does it. I mean, it's just, if you want to do alright when you're up against heavily armoured targets, you've really got to do it. Now, I'm in a bit of trouble here. I've got the enemy T1 is trying to sneak up behind us.
Enemy armor is hit. Critical hit.
I'm not having an awful lot of luck shooting that guy.
Enemy is hit.
So trying to be very aware of what the T1's up to. He's going to try and come around behind me, I'm certain. Oh, and there he is. So I've got to turn this thing round. Luckily he cannot fire while he's underwater. Now, I thought coming down the hill I would have the better of the ramp, but it doesn't work out that way. But we still did some to him, but yeah, he almost did double the damage to us. Now, while he's underwater, he can't fire back. Not sure whether a lot of players are aware of that, but yeah, when you're submerged or partially submerged like that with your turret underwater, the game doesn't let you fire. And the 103 has a it's got a funny gun. It's very low velocity. It's little derpy gun. It's probably the most dangerous. Now we've taken him out. So we've managed to take out their two heavies and one of their TVs, which is pretty good. Now, the usual mistake that teams and people make at this point is to push around and try and get into the base. It's very hard to get across that open ground, very, very hard. So I'm not going to do that. The Wolverine looks like he wants to push forward, but it's not a good idea. And he's actually holding there, but he's trying to get shots onto the little Tier 4 TD. But we'll actually push back to the base and head up to the northwestern edge of the map. That's where all their tanks seem to be concentrated. Anyway, we've done 2400 damage at this stage, which is pretty good. I'd be fairly happy with that in a battle in this thing. But let's see if we can push it to a bit further. Our team, we've got 3 players left. I think they've got 2, and I would say that some of their players aren't that crash hot, particularly the guy in the Valiant is probably fairly experienced. It's not unusual for people to buy premium tanks like the Valiant. That's one of the first things they do in the game, and basically not really be able to play them well. The Valiant's a funny old tank. It's very, very slow as a medium, but it's got good armour. Its gun's okay, it's nothing special, but you can actually do fairly well. But against this gun, it's probably not going to stand up, and I think too the Valiant probably doesn't have very good spotting range. So now I can see he's out there, and I'm sort of a fair way out. There he is, and he doesn't spot me at this stage. We'll put a few into him. You can see one of the real powers of this tank is the rate of fire is pretty damn good. You can't see it exactly on the replay, but it's almost as good as the tier 5 TDs with their, it's under, I think, 3 seconds in this thing, very close to it. And it just means that, again, that adds to the versatility of this thing. It means you can basically, because you are a heavy, you've got the HP, but you can also get the DPM right up there and overpower things like an M10 or one of the Wolverines if they come at you, because they just don't have the HP. Here we go. And luckily, he was at full strength, but he's having trouble turning his gun, and that was lucky that he bounced. And we take him out. So we get 6 kills, very good win, 3,800 damage in a tier 5 heavy. That's a very good game. That was an ace, and we also got our 2nd mark of excellence in